Hello, does Julian work here?
What do you want with my son-in-law?
The words hit me like a thunderclap. I told myself it was a coincidence.
Relax, Mr. Miller. Everyone around here knows Julian is totally whipped. Other guys might mess around, but your son-in-law wouldn't dare. She's probably here on business from corporate.
I kept my composure and pulled up a photo of Julian on my phone.
I am here on business. Is this the Julian you're talking about?
The old man relaxed.
Yeah, that's him. That's my son-in-law.
The blood in my veins froze. Before I could process a single word, a woman appeared, well-dressed, smiling.
You here to talk business with my man? Come wait at our place. Our son's got a fever. He took him to the hospital in town.
I stared at her, thunderstruck, barely able to breathe.
I'm Julian's wife. Just call me Mia.
She was warm and talkative, smile never leaving her face.
There's nothing but rough guys around here, and half of them don't know how to act. A woman shouldn't be standing around alone out here. Come on back to the house. He'll be a while.
And I followed her. I watched her as we walked. Her foundation was uneven, powder-caked at her eye corners, but she was clearly over 10 years younger than Julian, who'd just turned 37.
Lord, you women from New York really are something else. Look at that skin. Smooth as a baby's bottom.
Her eyes were full of admiration.
My man's got skin just like yours, all soft and clear.
She laughed.
You city girls really do have it all.
I forced a smile. She wasn't wrong. Julian and I both had good skin. I was older than Mia by a fair margin, but I'd taken care of myself. I still looked like I was in my mid-20s. No one would guess I'd been married for 12 years. But what did any of that matter? I had a career, raised our son, cared for his parents, and handled everything alone. But my husband still built an entirely different life here behind my back. Mia talked the whole way. She didn't seem to need a response. At some point, a couple on a motorcycle slowed as they passed us. The woman on the back held out a small paper bag.
Your man thinks of everything. Takes the kid to the doctor and still remembers you wanted roasted peanuts. Asked me to drop these off. He worries too much. Your husband really does take care of you. That man does whatever she says, no questions asked. Doesn't matter how tough he acts out here. One look from Mia and he folds. One tear and he's completely hers. Oh, stop it.
A bitter ache welled up inside me. My husband, the man who spent 12 years talking to me about equality, respect, and partnership. That man had come out here and willingly turned himself into another woman's lapdog. Mia's house stopped me in my tracks.
My man built it. Nobody else around here has anything like it. And he's the first guy in town to move in with his wife's family. Takes care of my parents like they're his own.
Moved in with her family? The moment I stepped into the living room, I saw it. We had a photo just like it. Only ours had just 3 people, no daughter. The year Julian first left for this project.
2 years max. I'll get transferred back. And when I do, if you want, we'll try for a second baby. After that, we'll never be apart again.
2 years turned into 7. He came home for a few days every Christmas, and that was it. Last year, while he was back for the holidays, I casually said I still wished we'd had a daughter.
Honestly, with the way things are, smart people aren't having more kids. One's enough. Why put yourself through it?
I thought he'd simply changed his mind. Turns out he already had his daughter. He just hadn't had her with me.
We've got Wi-Fi. Password's 9900913.
Something jolted in my chest. Julian had told me there was no reliable internet signal out here. That was why I could never reach him directly. He always had to be the one to contact me first. I connected to the network. Full bars, one lie after another, each one like a knife sinking in deep.
You two seem really happy. Does it worry you that he might get transferred back to New York someday? Not really. Between us, they almost called him back earlier this year.
My chest tightened.
He used every favor he had just to stay.
My heart dropped. It wasn't the company keeping him here. He'd asked to stay. He'd fought to stay. He'd done that knowing his mother had suffered a stroke and couldn't care for herself. He'd done that knowing his father had broken his leg in a fall and needed help. He'd done that knowing our son had cried over and over about missing his father. He'd done that knowing I'd been worn down by work and family, until I'd ended up in the hospital more than once, and he'd stayed anyway. Comfortably. 1,000 miles away.
A chill ran through me, my shoulders trembling slightly. Mia crossed the room and switched on the air conditioning, thinking I was cold.
It'll warm up in a minute. My man got me a good one. A big brand name. Didn't even blink at the price. Nobody else in town has one. I didn't even want it. I told him it was too much, but he insisted. Said he was worried I'd be cold in the winter.
I kept a smile on my face.
He's quite a bit older than you.
I said.
Is this his second marriage? 10 years older. We're both getting married for the first time.
Mia smiled.
I'm the lucky one. A girl like me, barely finished high school, ending up with a man who has a master's degree. He's the project manager for the whole development. Basically second in command under the owner. I never imagined I'd end up married to someone like that. He says meeting me was the best thing that ever happened to him. The age gap's a good thing, honestly. Older men know how to take care of you. He's responsible at work and at home. Every paycheck goes straight to me. I give him a little spending money and that's it.
Bitterness welled up in my chest. For years, Julian had been sending money back to our joint account every month, only left $1,000 for himself. He told me his housing and meals were covered, that he barely spent anything out here. I had a college roommate who worked in his company's payroll department. Years ago, I'd quietly checked his monthly salary once, $11,000, and let myself believe him. I didn't believe him anymore.
He takes good care of the whole family. God, yes. She gestured around the room. My mom has a bad back. He bought her that massage chair without blinking. My dad likes his whiskey, so Julian keeps cases of the good stuff stocked for him, and he gives me a separate allowance every month for whatever I want.
I heard it, and I knew. Julian had been taking bribes. The bitterness turned colder, not just for myself, but for his parents, who had no idea.
3 months ago, his mother had nearly died. A severe stroke.
Julian, please. She's in critical condition. She keeps asking for you. Please come home.
I'm so sorry, Chloe. The project is at a critical stage right now. I really can't leave. She'll be okay.
So many nights like that, his phone unanswered. Or always some excuse he couldn't come. He never came back. He ignored his own family, his parents, his son, and the whole time, he was here being a good husband, a good father, a good son-in-law. The irony was sickening. Mia's phone rang. She didn't step away or lower her voice. She just answered it right there.
Hey, baby.
Close enough that I heard every word. Julian's voice. The same warm tone he used to use with me.
Our son still hasn't broken his fever. The doctor wants to keep him overnight. I'm a little short on cash. Can you transfer me some? $300 should cover it.
Of course. I'll send it now.
I laughed inwardly. The devoted family husband. Then Julian's voice softened.
I can't hold you tonight, baby. Stay warm, okay? Don't kick off the blankets. One day away from you and I already feel off.
Those words stabbed at my chest like sharp blades. 12 years of marriage, and the last time he'd said anything like that to me felt like a lifetime ago. These days, he didn't even show that warmth toward our own son. Time had turned us an old married couple in name only.
I just realized I never asked your name. Chloe. What a pretty name.
She was as cheerful as ever. Even now, I was still giving her the benefit of the doubt. There was a good chance she had no idea, that she was just as deceived as I was.
Since Julian won't be back tonight, why don't you just stay? You can talk to him about the work stuff tomorrow.
That evening, Mia cooked a full dinner, a proper, generous spread. I met their daughter for the first time. She had Julian's eyes. Mr. and Mrs. Miller were polite to me, but barely. There was a wariness in their gaze that I noticed, but didn't mention. At the table, the conversation kept circling back to Julian. The way they talked about him, he wasn't a son-in-law, he was their son. Mia was an only child. In a town like this, that had always meant something for her parents. They'd spent their whole lives looked down on for not having a son. Then Julian arrived, moved in, supported the whole family, treated them like his own. And for the first time, they held their heads up.
Julian is the rock of this family. We can't do without him.
Something stuck in my throat, like a thorn I couldn't pull out. The rock of our family, gone for 7 years, had been holding up someone else's family all along. Mia put me in the guest room for the night. After the lights went out, I lay awake, unable to sleep. Through the wall, I could hear Mr. and Mrs. Miller talking quietly for a long time. I made 2 decisions. I filed a report, with documentation, with proof, to Julian's corporate headquarters. Then, I texted my brother. He was a police officer.
I'm going to need you to make an arrest.
Neither decision felt satisfying, but both were right. Justice for my life, a consequence he'd earned. The next morning,
It's cold and you're not dressed for it. My man just bought this for me. Only been washed once, never worn.
a designer label I'd spent an entire winter eyeing, adding to my cart, removing it, telling myself there were more important things to spend money on, parents to care for, a son to raise. I used to say things like that to Julian.
Other husbands buy their wives things. In all these years, you've never once picked something out for me.
In all these years, he always had the same answer, calm and easy.
The money's yours. Buy whatever you want. I wouldn't know what to choose anyway. I'm no good with that kind of thing.
He wasn't no good. He just didn't care enough to try. Not for me.
Thank you so much.
It was beautiful. It was warm. Mia blinked, a flash of surprise crossing her face. She'd clearly expected me to refuse politely. At breakfast, she was back to her usual self, cheerful, talkative, dropping Julian's name into every other sentence. She asked me questions too. What was New York like? What did I do for work? At one point, she looked at me and asked,
Are you happy? It's fine. My husband just isn't as attentive as yours.
She smiled widely at that. Then just before noon, the front door swung open.
Honey, I'm home.
Julian's voice filled the house. He walked in carrying their 5-year-old son. The moment his eyes landed on me, he went rigid. I looked at him steadily.
Which honey are you talking to? Exactly.